Okay, peeps, here we have Jayne Emmington from Preston in the UK joining us for Aiki Women. I am woman, hear me speak. Welcome, Jayne.
Thank you, Sensei. It's awesome to be here, keeping the flame alive.
Cool.
Hashtag keeping the flame alive.
Yeah, hashtag, good. All right. Jayne, you teach in Preston, which is a small city, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And you teach with, who do you teach with or under?
I'm under Jayne Sensei in Preston, and
sorry, go on.
I was just going to say I train under Jayne Sensei in Preston, and obviously he's introduced me to yourself and Mustard Sensei and a lot of other teachers.
Okay.
So
and people, a nicer man you cannot meet. He's a lovely, lovely man, a true gentleman. How long have you been doing Aikido for?
Around 15 years now.
I remember your first seminar that you ever went to in Poland, remember?
Yeah, I do. That was about 8 months after I'd started, I think. Yeah. It was a fantastic experience.
And why did you start Aikido?
Well, right at the beginning, I wanted to do a martial art. I've always been interested in martial arts, but and come out of it for one reason or another. And I just suddenly, the situation, life allowed for me to find a martial art, and Aikido seemed to be the one that really fitted with me. In terms of the one that I think would build up my character and life.
Did you try any other martial art?
When I was younger, I've tried judo, karate, kickboxing, and then, like I said, college got in the way, and then I didn't fall in love with them the same as I've fallen in love with Aikido. There was just something not fitting right with them all. For me, nothing wrong with them all, any of them, but for me, Aikido was the one.
So, Jayne, forgive me if I characterize you wrongly, but you're not in your face type person. You're pretty laid back. You're pretty retiring. If someone bumps into you, you say I'm sorry and you walk away. You're a lovely person. You're not the nasty kind of person, right? No. And maybe also very shy and maybe a little timid. How has someone like that gone to become an instructor?
Good question. Well, if I go right back to the beginning, when I phoned up to inquire about starting Aikido, I had no confidence at all. I wouldn't say boo to a goose at all. It took maybe 5 phone calls from the dojo to say, are you going to come? Are you going to come? And eventually I admitted, I said, look, I really want to come, but I can't walk through that door because I have literally no confidence and I can't do it. And then Mick Sensei, he said, come in and someone will sit with you and watch the class. So I went and someone sat with me and watched the first class. And then after that, I said, I can't come to an adults class. All those people, it's frightening. And then Mick Sensei was like, well, we'll do a one-to-one for a couple of sessions. And then from there, we'll see how you go after 2 or 3 sessions. He said, and I said, I feel confident now that I can do it because I really wanted to do it. I knew I wanted to do it after watching the first class for sure. It got me. But yeah, it was Mick Sensei. He took me for one-to-one, and then obviously I joined in the classes. All the students were lovely. They all encouraged me. They could obviously see that sort of shyness and confidence. And so obviously over the years now, Aikido has built me up. All the teachers have been encouraging. All the students that were surrounding me in the early days, they were really encouraging, really promoted me to go and keep going. And so from there, I've built up quite a a sort of undercurrent of confidence, if you will. I know me now. I know where I'm at, and I think I'm a lot better for it now.
Okay, so but there has to be more than that. That's taken you to become, like, you know, the next in line in the dojo. And there's some big boys in the dojo too. But you know, it's not just confidence. You've had some hard yards to, you know, walk.
Oh yeah, it was a commitment and resilience to get where I am now. There's been some tough times, you know, but the teacher, obviously McMurcer Sensei and yourself and Muster Sensei, at the right times, they seem to have come in and done the right training at the right time with me. You know, they know when to push and when to not, and you know, they understand. I don't know, there seems to be an understanding.
What would you say was one of the most difficult things you've had to endure in the last 15 years in Aikido?
Well, Aikido wise, I think my black belt was tough, the Shodan, because I really wanted to help Mick Sensei keep the dojo going and be a really valuable student to the dojo. And in order to do that, I needed to get Shodan. I did it a little earlier than normal, because I think, obviously, without sounding big-headed, I think I was ready, but I got told I was ready as well. But also it had to happen, because otherwise I couldn't have taught, I couldn't have gone into the schools and things like that. But yeah, going for that when you were with 6 other people that were all going for their Shodan and they had committed years themselves, you know, to suddenly have this person come in and be doing it earlier, and you know, and just sort of almost be going ahead of them somehow. I don't know. I don't think that's not how they saw it. That's not how I saw it. But yeah, I think there might have been a little bit of, well, there was. I remember Lynn, you know, Lynn?
Yeah.
We had a conversation because she turned really off on me. And it was like, eventually she said, actually, the issue's with me. And that was one of the biggest lessons I've learned, is mainly of McMurcer Sensei, but also that conversation taught me a moment, because she turned around and she said, actually, do you know what? I was jealous and I didn't like you for that, but actually the issue was with me. And it's true. It's not my issue. It was their issue. But they encouraged me the same, though. Don't get me wrong. All the students were lovely.
We might come back to that later, right? That what Lynn said. Okay. So that was what was one of your worst moments in Aikido?
Getting injured as well.
I remember that one in one summer school when you hurt your back.
There's been a few occasions where I've got injuries, and the first thing that runs into your head is this it? Is this the Aikido career gone? This frightening moment. No, you know, but you get through it, and yeah, I think a lot of it's mindset and attitude, and so yeah, that's probably been a bit of
all right. Let me pick up on something you just said, the mindset and attitude, right? How has Aikido helped you develop as a person?
Well, it's made me realize that not to take things personally, that you know, you just got to do your best, and if your best isn't good enough, then you have to be honest with yourself. Are you doing your best? And if you're doing your best, then there is no regrets. That's one of the best lessons I've probably learned.
Can you explain? Because I've tried to do my best all my life, and I've still got heaps of regrets.
It's weird. I don't have any regrets, really. I really don't genuinely have any regrets, because
you're a better person.
I've just tried.
You're a better person than me.
Yeah. Well, I don't. I don't have a full-time relationship with anyone. I don't have children. That's probably where some regrets will come. But yeah, no, I can't honestly say there's any sort of regrets. But yeah, no, I think as long as you try your best and you do right by people and you are doing things for the genuine purpose of helping others and the dojo, I don't think you'll go far wrong. But the mindset, it has to be built in as well. You're not, I don't believe you're born with like resilience and you're born with a positive mindset. You surround yourself with people that help you, and Aikido is a great community and culture that's done that for me. You know, and it's tough when the going gets tough, like for example current moments, situations with the dojo, you know, with everything going on. The mindset can be, oh, that's it, it's done, that we're best shut, you know, or okay, I'm going to give it my best shot. Because sometimes I think, well, I heard somebody say people regret never starting or quitting a martial art, and I'm not ready to quit. And I think if you do, you've got to be right in your mind about it. So yeah, the mindset is surround yourself with positive people, and if you have issues, find someone you can confide in, you know.
Yeah, but what's been your biggest lesson? What has Aikido transformed most in Jayne?
Well, I'm definitely more confident. Myself, I guess, the belief in myself, it's not 100% there if I'm honest, but it is getting there. But that's why I like Aikido, because you're always learning, always getting better. You're never quite there. That's what I like about it. But that's my type of that's what I'm like personally. I'm not in it for the quick fix. I'm in it for the long run. So yeah.
Go on. Sorry, go on.
So I feel like you know, my confidence all round and my mindset has changed. You know, you know, that's the thought from I can't do it to I can do it.
So what would your advice be to someone, especially a female, who's timid and who wants to join a dojo but is too afraid to? What would be your, you know, and please don't say just do it, because that won't help them.
No,
something concrete that they can latch onto.
I think you've just got to be honest. You've got to admit that that's something that you struggle with. Contact the person, speak to the person who owns the dojo, and it's up to them to help you get through that door. Really, I think. I mean, obviously it's a little bit yourself, but well, it's a big thing is yourself. You've got to get yourself through the door, but just admit, just say, this is what I'm struggling with, and get in touch, and hopefully that teacher will be the one that clicks and says, well, come in, like what happened to me. The scariest thing is getting through the door. Once you're through the door, then it's up to, I think, the dojo, the culture, the community to encourage you to come back.
Yeah, good, very good. Hey, listen, just something you just said, right? You described the venue as a dojo. Nearly everyone in the UK describes it as a club. And I fucking hate the dojo being described as a club. Why do you call it a dojo?
Because I'm serious about what I do. It's not.
Are you saying people who call it a club aren't serious?
Well, it's. I think that's just a societal thing. It's just a, you know, I don't know. I think it's like when people use slang for certain things, you know, it's just something people slip into. I don't think there's maybe any meaning behind it.
No, there's more to it than that, because you definitely said dojo. You did not say
it's
club.
a dojo.
Yeah, it's a dojo. So
because we train seriously and we don't mess about and talk on the mat. And yeah, I guess you could say, well, are you saying people I hope that people who call it a club take it seriously and things like that. But again, I think it's perhaps, I don't know, that's just my,
I got told by someone who's a guru in advertising and stuff that we shouldn't use the word dojo in marketing. We should use the word club or studio. And I said, no way.
No.
It's a dojo. I'm going to call it a dojo. And people either know what it is or they don't come.
Yeah.
I don't care, but I'm not calling my place a club. I'm not calling it a studio or a center. No. It's a dojo. If you don't know the word, look it up.
Yeah. Okay?
Anyway, so moving on. So now, a while ago when I started these interviews, I got, I talked to Dawn about this too, and I had some criticism about the fact that I interviewed women in a group, whereas I interviewed most men in groups and individually. But the women, I interviewed them in groups. I had my reasons, but I had some pushback from women. My retort, my comeback was, what I've done for women is for public record. The number of female instructors I've had in my dojo, always have had, etc., etc. My question to women and to yourself is, what have you done for women in Aikido?
Okay. So, well, I believe now that I'm able to pass the message on. Like I said, I've been where they are. If they're not sure about coming to the dojo, they can, you know, that hopefully I'll be able to give them that sort of nudge now to come, and I try and get that message out there to people. I believe that when people come to the dojo, that I make them feel like welcome. I can almost emphasize empathy. I have that empathy with them to help build them up. And I also, obviously, when I started Aikido, there was a few of the women that I looked at and watched, and they were like role models. And I am hopefully trying to become one of those role models by being full-time at a dojo, and one day we'll run the dojo or run a dojo, so that, you know, they believe that they can do it too.
Okay,
it's just finding role models, I think.
I don't like the word role models, but we'll go with that. Okay, not a problem. That's my personal thing, right?
Yeah.
You just running a dojo and being empathetic and being nice and a smiling face, it's important, but that in itself is not enough to be a role model for people coming in and wanting to do it. What else is important? What else, you know, what else do you have to do as a woman to be a role model? And again, I don't like that word, but a role model for anyone coming up, kids, men, women. What else do you have to do?
I think you just got to keep showing up. Keep.
Not enough. You if you were just
I'm not
showing
sure
up, no, if you're just showing up, Mick Mercer Sensei wouldn't make you a number 2. That you must be doing more.
I just try and get out there, just committed to the art, really. You know, I just get out there.
If you're a role model, it has to be on show, right? What you said, you wish you are a role model, people. What are you doing to be that role model, to fulfill that role? I'm asking this question because I believe you are, but I need other women to hear it from you. What are you doing to be that role model?
Probably putting myself in scary situations that don't make me feel comfortable.
For example,
I go out into the community and do talks, and I go into schools. I actively get myself out there and talk about what I do, and they're not comfortable situations for me, but I believe that it's needed, and I'm the only one maybe that's prepared to do it right now. But I want to be the one that brings more people up, and through through the Aikido system, I guess, so that they can one day keep the flame alive, keep the Aikido going. It's, I guess,
it is a martial art, though. So
it is.
How are you portraying that martial side? Because you said you train hard, you take it seriously. How are you portraying the Budoka that that is in you?
Portraying it. How am I portraying it? I'm not sure how to answer that. Like, I'm just doing my best to show up and do the right thing.
And what is the right thing? What is the right thing? Taking uke for the teacher. Doing extra rounds of jiwaza, staying late in the class, throwing people, that sort of thing. That's
that's getting up, encouraging other people to improve on their training, and training with them as well. I don't just walk off and leave them to do it all the time. I train with them myself. I think that's important.
How do you deal with we're talking about martial arts and you're an instructor and stuff. How do you deal with people who resist you, or bigger guys who like you might be intimidated by? How do you deal with that?
If I'm honest, that doesn't happen too often. Maybe in the whole time I've been doing Aikido, there's maybe one or two that have perhaps been resistant, and I just don't train with them. I just don't train with them. If I'm at a seminar and they want to show me how strong they are and totally resist a technique from me, then I'll just make sure that I don't train with them again. If they're in the Preston dojo, I have backed off from teaching them. They can turn up and use it as a.
Don't you feel it incumbent upon you to prove the art and prove yourself?
No. Why? I don't want to prove myself to people. I shouldn't have to. And the truth is, if I had to prove myself in terms of martial art, like fight to the death, then we would have to fight. And I'm not. If I'm going to fight, it's to the death. Am I prepared to die?
No,
that type of thing.
If someone grabs you and says, okay, show me how to do the nikajo, or show me how to throw me, what do you do then?
And they resist it.
Yeah.
I just tell them, relax, just hold here. And I'll physically tell them to move and move here. You need to move there. You need to move here, so that you can become a better partner for everybody in the dojo. So I try and help them understand that that's, the positions that they need to be in, where they need to be, so that they can become a better for everybody. If they come in through the door, I mean, a lot of people don't understand that concept of why do we move with each other, and we explain that thoroughly, before they start. And initially I will go with that person. If I think they're going to hurt another student, they'll come with me and they'll spend a lesson or two with me, and I will talk them through it. And practically at a one-to-one at the back of the class.
Well, you're definitely a better person than me, and more Aikido-ka than me, because I wouldn't do that. But that's me. So
if they're affecting other students, though, if they continue to do that, sorry to interrupt, Sensei.
No.
But if they're going to continue, if they're not listening and they're going to continue, then they need to leave, because otherwise you're going to lose 5 students instead of that one.
But
So there is a point where they have to go if
okay,
they don't learn.
let me just follow up the question, right? What happens if the person isn't belligerent, they just don't know how to move?
Then that's up to
But
I
they
help.
want to feel you throw them or do the lock on them. What would you do then?
Then I'll get them into the position where they're off balance and I'll throw them.
How are you going to get them into position of balance if they just
They
grab you and say, I'm not going to move?
Yeah, well, I explained to them that, you know, it's training, not fighting. And if you resist, then really, then what I need to do is punch you in the face really hard, you know, and to get you to move.
Why don't you punch them in the face, put them down and show them that's what I do, but let's train this instead.
I like to give people a chance first.
But I think this is perhaps, this is my two bobs worth, but this is where Aikido fails. People come to the mat, they want to feel it. If I can't do a technique that I'm meant to be doing, I would do something else. My objective is to put them down. I'd put them down, get them to believe in me, and then they believe in whatever I say. But if you don't do that, they don't believe in you, they don't believe in the art. You're the teacher. But that's my thing, all right? So yeah, that's why I think
that's fair enough.
You're a better Aikido card than me. I'm not.
No.
Okay. Okay, so let's move on. Why do you think that, you know, I spoke to Dawn, and apparently, like in your dojo, how many percent, not including the kids, how many percent women on the mats? 5, 10%? Less?
Yeah, I think we've got probably we've got 5 females, yeah. So
out of how many?
Current numbers at the moment. Let's say maybe 5-10%.
Okay, 5-10%, right? How do we increase that number? Most dojos have 5 or 10%. We got a little bit more, but you know, still we may be 20%, but for me that's not enough. How do we make it 50-50 or come up to that? How do we do that?
Well, I think you know, you said don't include the children, but I think now more than ever is probably to attract the children, to attract the young boys and girls.
The reason I say don't include children because it's a little bit different. The numbers are more balanced in the children's class, I'm sure. But let's look specifically at the adults.
Okay.
How do we
Well, in the adults, I think, I guess, you know, opportunities like this. So you very kindly, you're running the Aiki TV. You're trying your best to get it out there. And obviously you've seen maybe a sort of a dip with the female side of things. So doing things like this, other dojos encouraging and sharing research, sharing resources. What are they doing? The marketing, you know, sharing stuff. You use this, it worked this way. How's it working? So maybe get together and have some sort of like group or database or meetup, and to discuss, you know, the sharing and research that your dojo has done. So, for example, in mine, because I did my master's in sport, at one point I did a quick questionnaire survey. Why do you come to the dojo? You know, what is it that makes you come to the dojo? Things like that. If you share that information, that's stuff you can put out there. And I think also, you know, seminars, they happen all the time all over the world. And maybe if someone who's in an influential position could maybe invite females to come and teach at their seminars, so everybody gets to know, you know, if you're respected and you allow a female instructor to teach at one of your seminars, then they should I get a female to teach because she's female? If you want, if you felt that you needed to help get females known, then yeah, use a female. If it's to help with this subject area, then why not? But I don't know what you were getting at there with the question.
Okay, I will not bring a female to teach unless I will not bring a person to teach unless they are qualified, and I don't care whether they're male or female. I will not
Oh
get
no, I
someone
agree
to
with
teach
that.
just because she's female.
Oh no. You have
Okay?
to obviously respect
Yeah,
them
these
yourself.
series
And
of
no.
interviews, right? She who must be obeyed said that I shouldn't interview all of you because you're women. I should interview you because you're
Absolutely.
qualified martial artist, right? So,
Yeah.
and I agree. But I don't want men talking about women's positions in dojos and women's experience. I want
No.
women talking about it. So it's gender specific, but I will not bring someone and showcase them just
No.
because they're female. They have to be good
No.
in their own right.
Yeah, absolutely. And that would be down to the instructor or the teacher.
Yeah, I
if
take
they
your
know.
point. I take your point. We should showcase different people, and I've brought women with me. I've also brought men with me, and they've all been qualified.
But you
They
do
were good.
but you do showcase them because you use them as uke as
But
well. They don't
because-
necessarily have to teach. You use them as uke.
but
You know,
it's
there's
because
no
they're good
separation.
enough, and it's regardless of whether they're male or female.
Oh yeah, you can make an issue out of something that doesn't need to be made an issue out of. You know, I think that happens a lot.
Yes.
You know,
Yep.
there's no need to make an issue out of something that doesn't need to be made an issue.
But again, we go back to the point: how do we bring more women into the dojo? You know, to pick up on one of the things you said, and this is a common mistake we all make. We send out surveys to people and say, oh, why do you do Aikido? Why are you in the dojo? We should be asking people who are no longer in the dojo, why aren't you here? Isn't that more pertinent?
It is, but 9 times out of 10 people don't want to answer that question for some reason.
So, you know, what is quantifiable is not always important. What's not quantifiable is sometimes more important. And that's the problem with statistics and surveys and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know,
I think
for my part, I think women come up and it's a snowball effect, right? If you get women up front who are good, not just up there because they're women, but are good, then other women follow in their footsteps. So, and then it just snowballs, and the next generation gets better, next generation gets better and better and better. But it's not easy, right? And like you said, sometimes, you know, we can make an issue of something that's not an issue. Okay, sorry, we're digressing a little bit.
No worries.
So, you said this, okay? Not from me. You said this. You said that one day you hope to be running the dojo or a dojo. All right. So, hypothetical question. McMaster Sensei has got ankle problems and, you know, etc., etc. He says, okay, I'm going to retire. Would Jayne Emmington be prepared to step up and run the dojo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But I wouldn't want McMaster Sensei to leave the dojo. I would say you choose when you want to come and when you want to teach. Just keep coming, because, you know, in our dojo, I believe that students come for.
Look, I totally, you know, that's yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But how would Jayne Emmington run the dojo differently?
I would probably the only thing, honestly, that would change is probably the marketing side of things.
All right.
Just sort of getting the marketing out there, because that's the other thing as well. I mean, I believe that I don't think for what we do, marketing perhaps doesn't work instantaneously, but I think when people think of a martial art, I want them thinking of Aikido first, and the only way they're going to do that is to market, get into people's faces almost on a regular basis.
Okay,
not
so
commercially.
Let's go back to my previous question, right? Jayne Emmington's taken over the Preston dojo. Emmington Sensei is retired, and along comes a guy, not too big, not whatever, and says, so you're the teacher, grabs you and says, show me what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do?
Well, that's if you're talking about if they were resisting now.
No, they just want to say, they grab you and say, show me Aikido.
Well, then I'd show them Aikido.
What would you show them?
What would I show them?
Would you explain to them, you got to grab it like this, or you got to move to this position so I can throw you? Or would you just slam them?
I don't think I'd let them get hold of me initially. I would want to see how they move on their own, and then after that,
someone just shook hands with you and say, "Hi, Jayne, you're the teacher. So what would you do now?" Hypothetical question.
I think you're meaning if they resisted me.
Yeah.
Then I'd have to make it work, and if it didn't work, then I'd admit it. But I would try and make sure that it worked. Okay,
so why wouldn't you do that if someone is belligerent and grabs you in a seminar or whatever and says, you're a fourth dan, show me what you got?
Well, like I said, if they grab me and it didn't work, I'd admit it. It's fine. You think what you want to think.
Earlier you said you wouldn't train with them or you wouldn't engage with them, but
I would avoid them. Yeah, so I would tell them Aikido's not for them.
Yeah,
in my dojo, I'm possibly the wrong teacher for you.
Okay, but this is where it fails. You know, if we are the face of Aikido, then we don't have to be fighters. But if someone says, "Show me," we need to show them. We need to be able to do something.
Yeah, yeah.
Otherwise, you cannot sell Aikido as a Budo, which is your point as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And the reason I'm pushing this is because
it's fine.
a lot of women and a lot of men who teach Aikido will, if someone grabs you and says, "Show me Nikajo," they'll say, "Oh no, you got to hold it like that." Right? And straight away the guy goes, "Oh, that's bullshit." You know,
but there's training and there's fighting.
Well, I'm not even talking about fighting. I'm just talking about someone wanting to feel what you've got.
But I guess if they want to feel what I've got, they've got to react. They've got to, because it's training. If they want to feel it, then they must do the correct. Okay.
They just want you to show them what they've got. And I think it's something a lot of us have to get our mind around. You know, it's people want to believe what they do, and they don't want to. They're not going to believe words. They want to feel it. And feeling it is like not saying, "Put your foot there and put your foot there. Now I'll throw you." You got to do it.
Yeah.
And if we can't do that, then male or female, we can't.
Yeah, you shouldn't be doing. Yeah.
No. We limit who we have in the dojo more and more. We limit more and more who we have in the dojo.
Yeah, but I think the majority of people that come to the dojo have the right attitude and the right mindset. They want to train. They want to take it seriously. They understand not to test the teacher and being, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, be an ass, but you know, but they are allowed to question, and that's also why I like be inquisitive about the techniques. How can I make it work?
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, then I need to go and find out why it's not working and how can I make it work for me. And that's why I like Aikido.
You're lucky because you got good people coming to the dojo. I don't always have that luxury.
Yeah.
You know,
I also have good teachers that I can ask questions to.
No, but when you're it and the buck stops with you, what do you do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just, it is a scary concept, but the truth is people have just got to want to train, and if they want to train with me, then they're going to have to put up with me.
No, but how do they train in something if they're not inspired by the teacher, or they don't feel what the teacher has?
Yeah.
They need to believe in you, be inspired by you to do what you say. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So how do you, if someone challenges you, I've seen so many people do that and, get grabbed and they go, oh, no, you have to grab me this way and you have to grab me that way.
Mm. No, I try and make it work all the time. And then at seminars, for example, I'll try and make it work. And if I don't feel it's working, then I ask and I get better.
That's what I want to hear, that you make it work. That's it,
Yeah.
And it's part of training. It's part of life, making it work. Yeah. And took ages, but we got there. That's what I wanted to hear.
Sorry.
All right. Now, Jayne, I'm really glad you said hypothetical situation, right? I'm not saying Mick Mercer's going to retire or whatever. I don't wish him.
No.
But hypothetical situation. Now, the door is open, right, for a lot of people to take advantage. To the opportunities are there. So the teacher, the head of the dojo, opens the door, but a lot of females don't want to walk through that door and take advantage of those opportunities. Have you got any, for someone who's willing to take up that opportunity, have you got any advice for people who I want to be an instructor, but you got any advice for them?
I would say make it known that that's what your aim is. Don't try and be, secretive about it, and just be honest. Just, if that's where you want to get to, then the teacher will help you, but you have to put the effort in and the commitment if that's what you want to do. You can't just secretly just keep training and one day it might happen, then, because it's a little bit different. If you want to become a teacher, then you've got to put the effort in, the commitment, the training.
People, if you're listening, never say that to me, because if you tell me you want to be an instructor, how I treat you and how I look at you changes straight away.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. I admit approach, it.
But yeah, you tell me you want to be an instructor, straight away I start looking at you differently.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's a commitment and effort and your training.
Then what's the biggest difference between teaching kids and adults?
Children they're innocent. They don't know the difference between right and wrong, whereas adults do. They are. You have a responsibility with the children, because what you're providing them with is the experience, the first steps. Whatever you do is going to influence them. Whereas I think maybe because of the experiences adults have had, you've kind of, it's a different level. They've got to understand for themselves almost what they need to work on and help them and inspire them to do that. Okay. I think.
How have you mentored the instructors coming up? Someone like Dawn, how have you mentored her?
I guess from the start, to have try and have the right attitude on the mat.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, I'm sure she will have mentioned when she walked through the door, she had a dress on, and
she did.
I handed her a dogi. We don't normally do that. But, and normally we ask people to watch first, but I just felt that, you know, maybe let's do this, you know, it's a female or male, whatever, and let's get get a gi on you and get you going, you know, see what you can do, and just encourage, just like really encourage, like what I had. Basically, I try and do what I had. You know, if I notice there's a couple of females starting now, and all I do is spend time with them, encourage them, and promote the right attitude and mindset.
Okay, now we're going to wind up now, right? So it's interesting you said, you know, you spend time with them and you promote them and all that. How does it feel when you put all that effort into someone and then they leave?
That's horrible. I do it with males as well, though, you know, going back to this.
Male or female, yeah.
I do the equal thing. When they leave,
how does it make you feel? Like, and then you got to start again.
It is a little bit gutting, but you kind of just hope that whatever they've chose to go and do, that you've influenced them, you've had a positive, you know, you're the one, like, you want people to become better at Aikido. You also want them to become better at whatever they're doing in their lives as well. And if you've had an impact on that, then that makes me happy.
Good. Well said. Well said. Okay, we're going to wind up now. Any advice for women coming into Aikido, or who are already doing Aikido?
Just be honest about where you want to be. You know, what do you want to achieve? Where do you want to be? And then progression can start to be made, I think.
Good. Simple and easy. Yeah. And finally, any last words? Any, you know, about women in Aikido or men, whatever, anything, any final words?
I just think if you want to do something that's really makes a difference, and you know, something different, learn something new, then come and try Aikido. You'll get the support you need.
All right. How do you pick while you said that, how do you pick a good dojo? What's your criteria for picking a good dojo?
It's one that just, you know, I think you just know. You just watch a class and you'll know when you watch the teacher, and then have a go at a class after you've watched, because there's a little bit of fear. You see everyone flipping around and you're like, oh, I'm too old, or I'm too unfit, or I'm, you know, you've got to get on the mat and experience it first before you make a decision.
Cool. All right, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much, Jayne. And
thank you, Sensei.
Talking to you. Sorry if I labored a few points, but I was trying to get to a certain topic. Yeah.
It's just me.
No, it's good. You answered truthfully, and you said who you were and what you are. So you answered truthfully, and can't ask for more than that. Thank you very much, Jayne. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Sensei. Thank you.